Okay, so welcome back to In the Kitchen with Jelly, where tonight we're doing baked potatoes. And I did sweet potatoes last week, put up a video on those, and they did real well. And tonight I was going to do baked potatoes, show you what I've learned about them and what I think works best. This right here is the Idaho Potato Commission, who recommends 210 degrees. And I'm not lying, they're not off bad on that. But I say anything above, say, 203, I have a magic number. Somewhere, anything around 205 up. But if you don't want to go too far past it, but you can't be too far under it, or obviously they're not done. So what we're going to do, now you can do this in an Instant Pot or a Ninja FOODI, either one. I'm using the FOODI tonight because I'm also going to melt some cheese and stuff on them. But mainly, this is really to show you the times, because I'm going to have this right here running, which we're going to show the time it takes for it to come up to pressure, everything to the time you pull it out. We're going to temp it, make sure it's where it needs to be. These are russet potatoes. They're 12 ounce. They're 12.7 ounces each, actually. One's 12.7, one's 12.8, as weighed by that right there. And that's pretty much all you're going to need, this and like a cup of water. And I'm going to take you through all those steps. I'm going to get these washed up and ready to go. And I'll come back in just a second, and I'll show you what times I think make this work best. So y'all hang on and I'll be right back. Okay, so at this point, all we do, put the trivet in. I puncture my potatoes, and I go about that deep, say 4 times in each potato. And it's not about just piercing the skin on a potato, in my opinion. You want the the moisture or the steam that's trapped inside to be able to get out even from the center. So now all you do, place these in here, and 1 cup of water. That's all you need. There's no reason to put any more. It'd just be more water for the device to have to heat and make it take just a little bit longer. Now next, put the lid on, obviously. Now, really there's nothing to it. You just put that on, you lock the lid, and then you hit pressure. And we're going to do, and because these are 12.8, and I'll say this, potatoes are real, you got to adjust your times to hit your temps just right. And it's a little tricky. So normally I do, for a 12 ounce potato, I do 30 minutes with a 5-minute natural release, and then I release the rest of the pressure. But these are 12.8, so I'm going to do 33. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make sure my vent is closed. I'm going to press start here and start here. So we're running. We'll know exactly how long it takes for everything to happen. And we're going to temp them after that. So y'all hang on. We'll be right back. And I will, one more thing. I will say I got a little video clip, and this is how I make sure when I buy potatoes, I buy 5 or 6, and 6 or 7 at a time, whatever. And I have a little method I do while I'm at the grocery store. It's simple, and it's probably elementary to most people, and most of you know it. But I'll probably plug that clip in right here where you can see when I purchase these, how I make sure I get similar weighing potatoes. Okay, here's what I mean. You look right here. Whoops, I touched it with my hand, but it's just over 12 ounces right there. And I get them out of this bin like this right here. And that way I can weigh each one of them, and I know exactly, within reason, what I'm getting. That way they all cook the same. Anyhow, now you know. Okay, so we're coming up on the 33-minute cook time where we don't do anything. All we do is let that go all the way and finish counting down, and then start counting up for 5 minutes. And that's what it'll do. It'll go through its little done light, and then you'll see it start counting up. And we'll let that go to 5 minutes. Then we're going to finish releasing the pressure. We're going to open the valve and let it release and see what the temps are. I'll be right back. Okay, we are at the 5-minute natural release point, and all I'm going to do is open this to let the rest of the pressure come off. And as soon as that's done, we'll open it up, take some temps. Okay, there it goes. So that means we can stop the timer, because I can take the lid off, safely take the lid off now, and that's what we're going to do. And as you can see, they've already opened up a little bit for us, which is perfectly fine. And one thing, the best way to tell without a thermometer is to just poke through there, and that potato is done, and so is that one. Let's see what temp we have. I'm gonna put this one right here in the center and see if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll fix it where you can before it's over with. Still climbing. (202 degrees, 203. That's my magic number, remember? With this one right here, I'm gonna pull out, and I'm gonna make sure you can see those temps. And I don't know why. I mean, I'm not sure you couldn't. It's just that the way the camera's set up, I never know. So I'm going to, but like I said, they want 210, but I've found 210's a little much. I just have. So, you know, 203 is my magic number somewhere in there. You know, I'm not that critical on it. There's 204, 205. So that's a perfectly cooked potato. What I mean by that, and I'm going to make sure you can see with the camera again. I'm going to set this up where you can make sure is that it will be as good as any oven cooked potato you've ever had. Now, what I do is I just kind of slice them, not all the way to the ends. Well, when I'm doing this, I don't cut them all the way in half. So then you just press them just like that. And then all you need on that potato, and this is the way a lot of people, including myself sometimes, I would like to mess that just a little bit more. But like I said, I'm in a little bit of a hurry trying to keep the camera time down. But just that right there, and some sour cream maybe, which I've got. I just don't have out. Some salt and pepper. And you have a very good potato. There's nothing wrong with that right there. That's a perfectly cooked potato. And with an Instant Pot, this is where you would be. You know, I mean, that's a fluffy like potato. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it is, again, make sure you can see what I'm doing. It is absolutely cooked perfect. And that's why they want 210. I mean, if you try and go to 190s, I've tried it. There's a tough spot in the middle. But you can just keep putting all the butter and salt and pepper you want on there, and that right there is as good a meal as you can get. And that's my opinion. Now what I'm going to do with the other one, and it's because, and that's why I did it in the Ninja tonight, is because I'm going to split it open. I'm going to put cheese and some real bacon on it and just melt it down with the broil feature. It's a great way to, it's a quick way to cook a potato also. And a lot of people might say, well, that's 45 minutes, and you can see on the timer, I think you can, it was 44 minutes and 29 seconds. That's from a cold Ninja all the way to the time you pull it out. Well, the thing with that is that you don't think about it. You say, I can do it, like I said, people say, I can do it in my oven in an hour. Well, not really, because you got to preheat that oven. And it probably takes, 10 minutes for an oven to get to 425 or whatever you cook your potatoes at. So you'd have to subtract that to make it, apples to apples here. All I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to set this in, just like that. On top, I leave that rack in there. It doesn't hurt anything. I probably could have pulled it out, but I didn't. And you can do this with the Instant Pot too. You just put it on a sheet pan or maybe even aluminum foil and set it in your oven under the broiler. It's just this does, I'm not going to lie, this does work pretty good because, like I said, I'm leaving the water in the bottom. It doesn't matter if the cheese falls down because the water's down there. It's easy to clean out either way, whether the water's down there or not, to be honest with you. Now all I'm going to do, just for presentation to make it look good, close the lid. I'm going to hit broil, and it goes automatically to 10 minutes. I'm going to leave it there. And what I'm going to do now is what they call the sneak a peek feature. So every so often, after about 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to open it up and look at it and just see how that cheese looks, because all I'm doing obviously is melting that cheese. And I'm going to have a very good potato here shortly. Y'all hang on. Okay, so pretty much we're at 2.5 minutes. And now it's time to put a little bit of bacon bits on it. But you could wait and do that later. In fact, I put a little more than I wanted to right there, but we're good because I can add them when I want to, you know. There you go. Okay, so here this one is after 5 minutes. And as you can see, that is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that one or this one. I mean, that one looks just as good. Okay, so needless to say, we eat these as a meal a lot of times, and especially if you got barbecue left over or, you know, pulled pork or whatever, you know, you can put them on a potato, and a potato makes a great base. And this one right here, nothing wrong with. And obviously, this one right here with bacon and cheese, I mean, I do this right here. All I do is hack them, and like I said, it's kind of like a twice baked potato. But you don't even have to go this far, you know. I mean, you can put whatever you want on there from this point, and it is hot, but good. And by the way, those are bacon pieces; they're not bits, and they're really good. They work fantastic for this kind of stuff. And I have to have this, and that'll get put all over that in just a minute. But anyhow, I appreciate y'all watching my video. Thank you very much. You know, hopefully you can use my timing method. Again, that's my 30-minute and 5 is for a 12-ounce potato. And you see what I did. I raised it 3 minutes for a 12.8 ounce potato. So, anyhow, in the kitchen with Jelly, www.jelly007.com. Y'all come back to see me. Like, share, subscribe, all of the below. Bye, y'all.